First at 4, police digging for buried bodies. We'll talk about the connection to a convicted murderer in a live report from Macomb Township. We also have a new decision connected to the death of Eric Garner. His cries of "I can't breathe" became a national rallying cry. What the NYPD did today. Ben.
Karen, warm and humid, but if you like a change, we've got that coming by the end of the forecast. We'll check it out next. Paula?
I'm going to introduce you to this guy, and he really is amazing. As you can see, he's part human and part orangutan, but he's killing it on an international competitive stage for American Ninja Warrior. I'm going to explain why he does so well.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, take a look at this. It is a chilling sight when you realize those officers are supervising a dig for possible homicide victims. This developing story happening right now in Macomb Township. The investigation connected to a man who's already been convicted of murder. His name, Arthur Ream. Let's get to Larry Spruill. He is live in Macomb Township this afternoon. And Larry, they have been digging for hours. Have they found anything?
Well, good afternoon, Karen. I just got off the phone with police, and they tell us they will let us know when new information becomes available. We are still waiting for that update. But, Karen, I was here at this very spot last year when police started another search. Take a look. You can see crime scene tape. If I can have my photographer, Zach, zoom all the way in to where those trees are. That is new crime scene tape from this search. Now, take a look at the crime scene from Sky 4. You can see police officers from multiple agencies a part of this search. We're talking about Warren Police, Canton Police, Macomb County Sheriff's, MSP, and FBI. They are looking at the area on the north side of the Clinton River, just south of 23 Mile. Police say all of this started some years ago, dating back to 2008. Investigators say the prime suspect is Arthur Ream. He was convicted of murdering Cindy Zarzinski. Back then, he led police to her gravesite. Now, since then, agencies have been working on solving several cold cases involving missing juvenile females. They believe Ream was involved in those cases, too. We talked to several neighbors out here today. They're just hoping for some kind of closure for the families.
It's crazy to think about carrying something and burying it out here this far away. It's just mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm. Now, coming up tonight at 5, we will have team coverage. My colleague Karen Drew, she will be focusing more on who Arthur Ream is. I will continue to focus more on the search. Find out why police say today's search is taking a little longer than normal. I'm working on that part of the story, all new tonight at 5. We are live in Macomb Township. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
All right, we appreciate it, Larry. We'll see you in about an hour for the latest. Well, many of you have been clicking on the story of this condo fire over in Troy. We've got the video at clickondetroit.com. Firefighters responded to the Wattles Creek condos off of Wattles and I-75 this morning. We're told the complex was being remodeled. Only one unit was occupied, but everyone, including this guy, this little cat, got out safely. So far, no word on a cause. The new Oakland County executive was sworn in today over in Pontiac. David Coulter was appointed to serve the remainder of L. Brooks Patterson's term. Coulter resigned as mayor of Ferndale this morning. Republicans are still pursuing legal action on this appointment, alleging the appointment process was tainted. Coulter is expected to serve until December of 2020. Vice President Mike Pence was in Detroit today talking about an international hotspot. Pence says trade negotiations with China are ongoing, but the administration is watching to see how China handles political protests in Hong Kong.
But for the United States to make a deal with China, Beijing needs to honor its commitments, beginning with the commitment China made in 1984 to respect the integrity of Hong Kong's laws.
Pence then echoed recent statements from President Trump saying if China responds with violence, it'll make a trade deal much more difficult. Wild weekend of storms and power outages. DTE is hoping to have everyone back on by tonight. Meantime, Ben Bailey, we're hoping to have a calm and quiet evening. So how does it look?
For most of us, Karen, I think that's what's going to happen. We're still watching for at least the possibility of a rogue thunderstorm, but so far that hasn't popped up. Temperatures are warm out there. Humidity is more than noticeable and a little bit of a breeze, but there's going to be a big change in the forecast. Look at the next 7. These are the temperatures, and we'll be plenty hot and plenty humid here in the next 2. but we'll start to see a dip going into Thursday and for the most part carry that into the weekend. But the big questions are, where's the humidity going with these temperatures, and are we getting showers and thunderstorms along with it? We'll take a look at that in your 7-day forecast in just minutes. Karen.
Right. Thank you, Ben. Critics demanded action. Today, they got it, as the New York Police Department fires the officer who put Eric Garner in a chokehold. While a grand jury declined to indict Officer Daniel Pantaleo, a disciplinary judge recommended he be fired. Well, today, New York City's police commissioner said the officer was fired because he did not relax his grip when Garner fell to the ground.
I agree with the Deputy Commissioner of Trials' legal findings and recommendations. It is clear that Daniel Pantaleo can no longer effectively serve as a New York City police officer.
Commissioner O'Neill, I thank you for doing the right thing. I truly, sincerely thank you for firing the officer. Regardless to however you came up to your decision, you finally made a decision that should have been made 5 years ago.
Eric Garner's family is calling for a congressional investigation into his death and a state law making police chokeholds illegal. Breaking news from Minnesota at this hour. That's where Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar are speaking out about their aborted trip to Israel. It has been a big controversy for days. Let's take a look. This is a live feed from the Minnesota State Capitol building. Their news conference is about to get underway. Reporters standing by. That's the mic that we will hear them from. We're monitoring exactly what the Congresswoman will be saying, and you can watch this live at clickondetroit.com. And of course, we'll bring you updates as needed and a full wrap up tonight at 6. Now, let's talk about a local ninja warrior that we can all root for. You can see this Plymouth man can fly through the air with the greatest of ease, and he's taking his talents national on NBC's American Ninja Warrior. Paula Tutman met tonight's contender, who spills his unusual secret to success.
When 22-year-old Philip Scott showed up at the gym in Southfield this morning, he was hitching a ride with his aunt. He doesn't drive because of social anxiety.
But you can compete on an international stage? I know.
But on an international stage, he has nerves of steel and obviously muscles on the inside.
Oh yeah, everybody tells me that I'm like the least physically imposing.
Philip Scott is a ninja athlete. And tonight during the Cincinnati City Finals, his close-up debut is on the show American Ninja Warrior. That's impressive enough, but add to that, Philip has Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism that actually works in his favor.
A lot of people with autism tend to be obsessed with like things like trains or certain things. They just love all the intricacies of it. And that's kind of the same with me with Ninja Warrior. I was just like, oh, this reminds me of Super Mario.
His secret weapon is actually how his brain calculates.
Just knowing how to adapt in real time is crucial.
Not just in grids, but like a memory card.
He has what people would call a photographic memory.
The ones on the show are about 1.5 inches. These are 3/4 of an inch.
It helps him that he can think of, oh, so-and-so did an obstacle like this 3 years ago, and this is how the result was.
So when you see him compete on television tonight, you are actually watching Philip replay history of shows past. In that brilliant brain, any misstep or misplaced finger that led to a competitor to a fall or a failure, he is remembered, played over in his head, and in real time calibrated his own moves based on the mistakes of others.
The great part about ninja as a sport is that you're trying to overcome things that you haven't seen before.
The best thing for people to learn is that anything is possible. It might sound cheesy and cliche, but it's true. Anybody can do anything, you know, if they put their mind to it. Like, I'm this dorky, lanky dude that loves video games, and and I never did any sports before I found this, and for some reason I chose this incredibly difficult, athletic, weird, crazy obstacle course, and sure enough, here I am.
Yeah, so this is pretty much what ninjas do for fun, which is absolutely incredible because this is really a sport of brute strength, nerves of steel, and obviously muscles in your fingernails. Interestingly enough, Philip says he has never, ever really worked out. He just kind of runs obstacles 5 times a week, and then he goes out for power food, anything Burger King. Today it was chicken fries and mozzarella sticks. So we'll catch him on his debut tonight at 8.
So he's not eating a lot of kale and all that other kind of stuff.
Not even a little.
What a great story. We wish him luck, and we'll be following it really closely. We appreciate it, Paula. Still ahead, first of 4, a scary night for fans of Backstreet Boys by the legendary boy band had actually leave the stage in the middle of a show. And Dr. McGeorge is in studio.
Hey, Karen, they're being sold as a cure for autism, cancer, and AIDS, but what you do not know could harm you. The FDA has a serious warning about companies that are sharing misleading information.